So now we have understood preparation, introduction, and the third one would be body of the speech. The most required space where a lot of work, research, brainstorming needs to go in. There are three important elements that we have to keep in mind while we are constructing the body section of any speech. First one would be the transition or the link between introduction and the beginning of the body. Remember, the flow or the transition has to be very smooth. Yes, you can start orienting the audience about the topic that you are going to talk about. Second would be to re-emphasize or reinforce the main point and the sub-points underlying the main point, along with which we will need to have supporting ideas or supporting points. When I say supporting, yes, to some which way I am referring to evidences, and evidences could be stories, evidences could be facts and figures, evidences could be instances. The main point will have many sub-points, and each sub-point can have a supporting idea. For example, let's say we are talking about sales process in an organization and how important this sales process is to the expansion of the business that the speaker is talking about. If the person is talking about the sales process, obviously the logic that runs around in the audience's mind is about the flow of the process. So for example, the speaker might be talking about data acquisition, cold calling, fixing up meetings, converting the meetings into proposals, submission of proposals, and thereby conversion of the data into a client, which is when you acquire the client. Here the main point is how strong a business process is supposed to be, and in specific, to ensure that the word strong is substantiated, we will then take up each sub point, which is data acquisition, cold calling, holding meetings, and few other steps, and explain how each step has to be properly handled and how for each step there is a specific kind of resource that is required. And in the last, we are supposed to be taking examples wherever required. Let me go back to what we were talking about. So typically a body of the speech that we are going to be preparing should have the re-emphasis of the main point. It should ensure that people in the audience are aligned about the sub-points of the main idea and are also able to understand what each sub-point is all about, evidence these sub-points wherever required, and if very much required, yes, you can share examples or instances. And finally, the fourth point, which is the conclusion of a speech. Conclusion would have two elements. One would be a proper closure or conclusion of the topic, where yes, you are summarizing all the main points and the sub points that were shared in the body. Secondly is the actual closure, which is with a call for action button, wherein you are inviting the audience to join you or to take up their own action points to be able to be a part of the topic that was delivered. Let me quickly summarize all the four parts of outlining a speech. First would be preparation, second would be introduction, third would be body, and fourth would be conclusion. With this, we have now understood how to outline a speech. And in the next part, we will understand what are the different organizational patterns in which we can organize our content in the body part of the speech.